So not just doctors, we're full of other kinds of professionals. But today, I would like to thank Auntie Dolly for having me here, and all the brothers and sisters from the Hindu organization, namely the Arya Samaj, which has participated here. Please join me in a short prayer. Om Madhanam Timirandhasya Vijnananjanashalakam Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Guru Vishnu Guru Deva Maheshwaram Guru Sakshat Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Tasmai Shri I promise not to keep you very long. But nothing we do in this life is ever complete unless we had someone at some point in time guiding us, molding us to make us what we are. So I usually like to say, whenever I address my students, my friends, a gathering such as this, I like to say that if you make a mistake in your life, you should take credit for that mistake. That one is yours. If you do good things in life, you say thank you for the people who made you do it. This is said in many ways. All our great scientists, as great as Isaac Newton was, he said, I didn't really do anything, I just stood on the shoulders of the giants before me. Our teachers come in many shapes, many forms. And a lot of times, it's not animate, like in a person, like Guru Saksha. We have Auntie Dolly is next to me, she's nearby. But you have your books. They were written by someone who had an intention to make you learn something so you can make yourself a better person. We dedicate this entire month as Arya Samaj Awareness Month, today specifically being the Foundation Day, the 10th of April. But we're also dedicating it to that teacher. That's why in the first prayer that I said, Om Ajnana Timir Andhasya. Timir Andhasya comes from the root word tamas or tamamu, meaning darkness and ignorance. And Om Ajnana, I'm saying, oh Lord, I was born Ajnan. When you hear the word A in front of a Sanskrit word, it's a negating prefix. It means against. So Ajnan means no knowledge. So I was born in the darkness of ignorance. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya. Chakshur Unmilitam Yena means chakshur is your eye. You say, when you do the purification ceremony, you touch your eyes and you purify it. But chakshur unmilitam yena, my eyes were opened by my guru who shone this torch of knowledge. Shalakaya is torch, like a flamme, they used to call it back then. They never had electricity. So what we are saying is that you were born in darkness. As a child, your parents taught you, they became your first teachers. You learned the language, you learned hygiene, you learned certain things, and then you went to school, and then you went to a gurukul, and then you learned some things. Our teacher of the day is that great Arya Atma, Maharishi Samidananda Saraswati. Everything was dark. But he brought this light, he opened our eyes, and he put the wisdom back into it. And I can tell you long stories about it, but it's all online now, you can read it. The darkness was not just physical darkness. It was an absolute darkness that truly epitomized the era of Kali Yuga that we live in. It was so dark and ignorant that progress for Hinduism had grown to a halt. Think about all these children here. All the young ladies, please stand up. Let's look at the numbers. Please stand up, let's see. As a matter of fact, every lady, please stand. I know usually men stand. Let all the ladies stand tonight. Somebody who knows better mathematics than I, all the ladies, children, adults, everybody who can stand, please stand. Look at the numbers now. I want the men to look at the numbers. Somebody who is a better mathematician than I will calculate at least 85% of this audience is female. Agreed? Now imagine none of you were allowed to go to school. None of you were allowed to sit here at the asan and become the Vyas Panditaji of the evening. You could say. I just want to give you an example. That was the level of darkness that your religion had gone into. And when our teacher came and he gave us this knowledge, he didn't give us this knowledge so Dr. Mahadeo can stand up here and speak volumes and hold a mic and entertain you for a little bit. He gave the knowledge along with his 10 principles. They were 25, but they were a little too much for the average person. So it distilled down to 10 principles. And then he said, you know what? It is not fair for one man who knows everything, or almost everything, or thinks he knows everything, to keep that knowledge up here, and then you put him on a fire at some point in time and burn him. This man who knows more than his friend should bring his friend up to that level by educating him, by sharing with him. And when he made that principle, and he said, avidya ki nash, or vidya ki, and so on, what he's saying is that you must share this knowledge. Dispel the ignorance with the knowledge that you have. So, when we honor Maharishi, we don't honor him as just a human being who went to Mumbai with a group of people and they registered in the court and they signed a document and put it up in the Friendly Societies Act and said, here, this is Arya Samaj now. The neighborhood Brahmo Samaj, the neighborhood Mahakali, we have a paper too that says, we have a Samaj. It was not meant to be that. It was meant that anything that went contrary to the teachings of true Hinduism must be eradicated. So your 6-year-old child should not get married to your neighbor at age 6. It is a contravention of Hinduism. The Manusmriti says no woman should be educated for less than 16 years. So I don't understand where the fact that a child should get married at age 6 came to become scriptural. It was cultural for a reason of invasion and protection of our women. But when culture goes on for 1,000 years, it becomes the norm, and you have to be careful. So when we propagate things, if Auntie Dolly does something here that is, I'm not saying she did anything incorrect, that is incorrect, and she taught all these wonderful children here, they will learn that. And they will go and spread it. And if it runs for 1,000 years, that wrong thing becomes okay. So the Maharishi wanted us to look at things very carefully. And he says it's simple. We all know what is right. We all know what is wrong. If you feel inside that it is right, then check the scriptures. Tasmat Shastram Prajnanam Te. Let the scriptures be your guide. The Bhagavad Gita. Look at it and see. Or, you know it's wrong, don't do it. And I will give you an example I always use. If you have a toddler, let's say a 2-year-old child, creeping around on the ground, and he finds a matchstick, you know what's the first thing he does? No, he doesn't look at his mouth. He looks around to see who is watching him. And if nobody's watching him, it goes into his mouth. That 2-year-old, by given intellect as a human being, he already knows instinctively that putting that thing in my mouth, mommy wouldn't like it. But he would look around and then put it. So we have this ability to discern things. So I want us all here tonight, not just to listen to a beautiful yagya, listen to beautiful bhajans, listen to beautiful words of wisdom from your Guruji, Dr. Sadi Prakash, listen to words that I am saying here, and think about the prasad. I used to come to Monday for prasad, I keep guilty to that. But I stay. You stay and you wait for the prasad and something good comes in between. It fills out. And then later on you realize it is more than prasad. Alright? Mahadeo used to say, you're hungry, I want you to remain hungry and stay hungry. You must be hungry for the knowledge. So this is what we do with the Arya Samaj. We encourage our gatherings. Last week I said we're all equal. You don't have a senior person in front here and a junior person. We all have equal participation in the Arya Samaj. We don't have discrimination and segregation. And we are encouraging this on the 29th. The Guyana Central Arya Samaj usually does the culmination of the Arya Samaj month, which will be on the 29th. And just like how we have a lovely gathering here, I am hoping that all of you will be there to support that along with the other mandaries in the country. So we can really raise a sound that says the Arya Samaj is alive. The Arya Samaj is here to stay. And just like how the mantra tells us, Om Shayam Makam Yajam, and we must have visions, present, past, and future. And we must be freed from this vine like how cucumber is released. Lityor Mokshya Mamritam. Let us all come together and honor the memory of Maharishi Dayanand by being one great family. And let us get together and tell him that his sacrifice was not in vain. We are still here. We are still loud and kicking. And we are not going to go down without a fight. Let us all pledge that the Maharishi, he lived and he died to give you this principle. It should not go in vain. I thank you for listening to me. I thank you for listening to me. But please, remember what I said. Let us honor the Rishi. And let us continue to oblige and fulfill the mandate that he has given us. Namaste.